The sky ripped open with fire as Earth's forests and cities burned under alien fury. From the chaos rose a villain unlike anything humanity had faced, an extraterrestrial Wolverine with glowing claws and predatory rage. Superman descended through the storm, his cosmic aura blazing against the destruction. Every clash between them threatened to shatter the planet itself. And this was only the beginning of Earth's longest battle. The universe trembles. The world had never looked so alien. From orbit, Earth shimmered with a strange glow, its skies crackling with streaks of cosmic energy. Whole cities floated on platforms of anti-gravity tech, half built from human steel, half forged from alien alloys left behind after years of uneasy trade with otherworldly civilizations. Roads twisted upward into the air like spirals of light, while massive energy shields flickered across the horizons to protect against space storms. Above it all, fleets of spacecraft drifted, some human, some alien, like sharks circling a wounded ocean. It was a planet that was no longer just Earth. It was something else, something shared, something vulnerable. Humanity had thought the merging of technologies would bring peace. But with alien knowledge came alien warlords, beings who had long ruled their own corners of the galaxy with fear and raw strength. Their arrival had been sudden, and their demands were merciless. The strongest among them now stood on the threshold of Earth, ready to prove that humans were not allies. They were prey. And on this day, fire came first to the forests. The vast green belts outside the megacities, the last remnants of natural Earth, ignited under the assault of an unknown craft. The flames licked the treetops as drones with glowing wings hovered above, raining down energy blasts that turned the air itself to ash. Entire ecosystems screamed in silence as creatures scattered, the very ground rupturing beneath their claws. At the center of the chaos stood a figure that chilled even the bravest hearts. He was not human, not even close. His frame was hulking and jagged, covered in alien armor that seemed to breathe, adjusting itself to the battlefield like living skin. His face was predatory, lined with sharp ridges and glowing scars that pulsed with energy. His eyes burned a violent red, and in each hand, claws of radiant plasma hummed with lethal power. The alien warlord had arrived. This was the one whispered about in intercepted transmissions, nicknamed the Wolverine of the stars. But this was no imitation of Earth's hero. It was an abomination of it. Muscular, agile, and far more ruthless, he carried the ferocity of a predator who had never lost a hunt. His people called him Razker, the Claw of Oblivion. His enemies didn't live long enough to call him anything at all. He raised his claws to the burning forest and spoke in a voice that rolled like thunder across the flames. Razker, kneel, children of Earth. This planet now belongs to me. Resist, and I will grind your cities into dust. The civilians who had fled the city outskirts huddled in shattered ruins, watching in terror. Drones projected his voice into every screen, every broadcast, forcing the world to witness. For a long moment, there was silence. No hero appeared. No defense fleet rose to answer. Then the sky cracked with light. A streak of red and blue cut through the storm like a burning comet. The air rippled with the sound of thunder as he landed between the civilians and the alien beast. The ground shook, but the people cheered with sudden hope. Superman had arrived. He stood tall, cape snapping like fire in the ash-filled wind, his chest emblazoned with the glowing crest of his family, stronger now, infused with a cosmic aura from the sun's last flare. His eyes burned with steady determination, scanning the devastation, the civilians, and finally, the monster who threatened them. This wasn't the first time he had seen worlds broken. Krypton had burned. Other planets had fallen. But Earth was his home. He would not let it suffer the same fate. Superman, calm but firm, you've made a mistake. You don't get to decide Earth's future. Not while I'm still breathing. Razker tilted his head, claws gleaming brighter as he studied this challenger. A twisted grin cut across his scarred mouth. Razker, so, the famed protector comes crawling. Your stories reached even my galaxies. Strength, speed, fire from the eyes. But do you bleed, Kryptonian? Superman didn't answer. He didn't need to. His fists tightened, his stance rooted in resolve. His eyes flared briefly, sending sparks of heat vision into the scorched soil. The civilians gasped, torn between terror and awe. The forest around them continued to burn, sparks rising into the storm-choked sky. Drones circled like vultures, capturing every angle of this confrontation. Rasker raised his claws. Superman raised his eyes. The battle was about to begin. But first came the measure of wills. Superman's mind raced as he scanned the alien. The armor pulsed with adaptive signals, shifting its density based on incoming energy. The claws weren't metal. They were raw plasma, capable of slicing molecules apart. Worse, the creature radiated teleportation energy, meaning any fight would be as much about speed and unpredictability as strength. Still, Superman had faced the impossible before. He had learned that raw power wasn't enough. Strategy mattered. Humanity mattered. Protecting every life mattered. He drew in a breath, letting his cosmic aura flare, the air itself vibrating around him. Superman, to himself, keep him away from the civilians. End this fast. Don't let him feel in control. Rasker lunged first. With a burst of inhuman speed, he vanished in a crack of light and reappeared above Superman, claws raining down in a blur of plasma arcs. Superman moved just as fast, meeting each strike with super-strengthened blocks, the impact sending shockwaves through the burning forest. Sparks flew like fireworks as Claw met unbreakable skin, each clash louder than the last. The ground split beneath them. Trees toppled. Fire raged higher, feeding on the storm of energy. Civilian, whispering, Is he winning? The answer wasn't clear. Superman blasted upward into the sky, forcing Rasker to follow. Their battle tore through the clouds, each punch and slash flashing like lightning against the black canvas above. Drones tracked every move, the world below watching breathlessly. For every strike Superman landed, Rasker adapted. His armor shifted to absorb kinetic force, his teleportation allowing him to slip out of holds and counters. He fought with the cunning of a hunter, aiming not just to wound, but to corner his prey. And yet Superman pressed on. His heat vision blazed across the sky, carving through drones and forcing Rasker onto the defensive. His fists drove shock waves through the air, breaking sound barriers in rapid succession. Still, he couldn't let the fight drift too close to the city. Too many lives were at risk. He needed to control the battlefield. As they clashed again midair, Superman forced Rasker downward with a thunderous blow, sending him crashing into the burning earth below. The shockwave flattened what remained of the forest, debris scattering for miles. Superman landed hard, dust swirling around him. His cape whipped against the firelight as he advanced slowly toward the crater where Rasker had fallen. Superman, low, determined, you won't take this planet. Not today. Not ever. From the smoke rose laughter. Low, guttural, chilling. Rasker stepped forward, unscathed, his claws glowing hotter than before. The ground seemed to darken beneath his presence. Rasker good. A real fight. The first round was over. The longest battle in Earth's history had only just begun, skies on fire. The forest was gone. Ash floated like black snow across the ruins, and the flames painted the horizon in shades of blood red. At the center of it all stood Rasker, claws glowing like molten suns, grinning as if destruction itself was his playground. Superman stood firm across from him, the air around his body humming with contained power. Civilians clung to shattered buildings, too terrified to breathe too loudly, yet unable to look away. The cameras of alien drones zoomed in, projecting every second of the fight across the globe. Humanity had front-row seats to its possible end. Rasker struck first. With a teleporting blur, he reappeared behind Superman, claws raking across his back. The sound was like metal tearing, sparks bursting into the air. Superman spun, faster than lightning, fist connecting with Rasker's jaw. The alien flew backward, smashing through a half-standing skyscraper. Glass and steel collapsed in a roaring avalanche. Superman darted upward, his red cape blazing through the smoke. He caught the falling debris before it crushed the civilians below, holding thousands of tons of steel on his shoulders before gently lowering it aside. Superman, gritting his teeth, stay back. Everyone get to safety now. The crowd scattered, though many still stopped to watch. Their fear was mixed with something else, hope. But Rasker was already back on his feet. His armor shifted, glowing veins spreading across it, repairing cracks where Superman's fist had landed. He spat blood, then smiled with savage delight. Rasker, yes, bleed for them. Protect them. Waste your strength while I sharpen mine. He teleported again, reappearing high in the storming sky. With a roar, he slashed downward, sending waves of energy slicing through the clouds. The shockwave split the heavens like a lightning strike, and fragments of plasma rained toward the city. Superman shot upward in a blur, intercepting the deadly blasts. Heat vision erupted from his eyes, beams of searing red carving through the plasma waves before they could hit the ground. Each blast exploded in midair, illuminating the battlefield like fireworks of destruction. Still, one beam slipped through. It streaked toward a collapsing bridge filled with fleeing civilians. Superman had no choice. He broke from his fight and dived, arms stretched, catching the blast just before it hit. The explosion threw him into the river below, water erupting sky-high. Rasker landed on the bridge, claws glowing hotter, his laughter echoing like thunder. Rasker, see how he bends? See how he hesitates? Your savior is weak because he cares. That is why I will win. The civilians screamed, scattering as the alien raised his claws to strike. But in a flash of light, Superman was back, soaked, battered, but unbroken. He slammed into Rasker mid-swing, the impact shaking the bridge like an earthquake. The two titans clashed again, this time trading blows faster than human eyes could follow. Each strike was a shockwave, each counter a detonation. The bridge shuddered under their weight, pieces crumbling into the river below. Superman grabbed Rasker and launched him upward. The alien twisted midair, teleporting instantly behind Superman to deliver a slash across his chest. For the first time, blood appeared. A thin crimson line glowed against Superman's skin. The world gasped. Rasker's grin widened. Rasker, you bleed. Kryptonian blood spills like any other. Superman's eyes flared with heat, but his voice remained calm, steady, unshaken. Superman, bleeding doesn't mean I'll stop. It means I'll fight harder. With that, he unleashed a full blast of heat vision, twin beams carving across the sky. Rasker crossed his claws, his adaptive armor absorbing the energy. The clash lit the heavens, a blinding duel of red light against alien fire. Buildings trembled. Drones spun wildly, trying to capture the chaos. Civilians prayed, shouted, or recorded history in shaky hands. Then came the escalation. Rasker teleported behind Superman mid-blast, ramming his claws deep into the ground. Energy surged outward, tearing the streets apart. Cracks spread like veins of fire, swallowing cars and shattering foundations. The city itself was under attack. Superman's heart raced. He couldn't just focus on Rasker. He had to save the people too. Splitting his speed, he dashed across the collapsing streets, lifting civilians, catching buses, halting falling towers. Every second he lost saving lives gave Rasker another opening. And the alien loved it. Rasker, roaring, protect them all, hero. I will bury you under the weight of your compassion. Superman set the last group of civilians down on safe ground, then turned back, jaw tight, cape whipping in storm. His fists clenched, power radiating in waves. Superman, I've faced monsters like you before. They all think compassion is weakness. But compassion is why I win. With speed beyond sight, he punched Rasker through 3 skyscrapers in a row, glass raining down like shattered stars. The alien roared, teleporting again, this time dragging Superman with him into the storming sky. The two vanished and reappeared again and again, teleportation and flight colliding across the skyline. Skyscrapers shook, clouds split open, thunder roared as their battle tore through the heavens. Every strike lit the city in pulses of red and gold. Below, humanity watched in awe and terror. Heroes from other corners of the world tuned in, eyes locked on the broadcast. Was this a fight even Superman could win? At last, both fighters slammed into the tallest tower in the city, crashing through steel and concrete, coming to rest on its rooftop. The tower swayed, groaning under the strain. Both stood bloodied but unbroken, their eyes locked. Rasker, snarling, "You can't kill me, Kryptonian. I adapt. I learn. Every strike makes me stronger." Superman, quiet but unshaken, "Then I'll just have to outlast you." The tower shuddered beneath them. The city trembled. The sky burned. The longest battle was far from over. Ground Zero. The rooftop cracked beneath their boots. Glass rained down the sides of the skyscraper, glittering like dying stars as Superman and Rasker squared off. Neither blinked. Neither moved. Then, in the space of a heartbeat, the tower gave way. The top floors collapsed with a thunderous roar, concrete and steel tumbling toward the streets below. Superman was first to act. In a blur, he rushed through the falling debris, catching beams, redirecting slabs of concrete, creating safe gaps for civilians running in terror below. He saved hundreds in seconds. But that moment was all Rasker needed. The alien teleported into the collapsing tower, ripping through the steel frame with his claws. Energy pulsed outward in vicious waves, detonating the building from its core. The skyscraper folded like paper, crashing into the city with an explosion that shook the earth. Dust swallowed everything. The sky went dark. Through the haze, a crimson glow cut forward. Superman burst from the rubble, cape shredded, eyes blazing with fury. Civilians cheered his survival, their voices trembling with desperation. But Rasker was waiting, claws dripping with molten steel. Rasker, taunting, "How many did you save? How many burned while you lifted your precious humans to safety?" Superman's fists clenched. His body radiated cosmic energy, sparks crackling off his shoulders. "Superman, every life I save proves you can't win." They collided again, this time on the ruined streets. Each strike sent shockwaves tearing through the ground. Cars exploded, storefronts shattered, and the earth itself cracked under their war. Civilians screamed as shockwaves hurled them aside, but Superman broke the rhythm of his attacks to shield them again and again. That hesitation gave Rasker an edge. He slashed across Superman's chest, cutting deeper this time. Blood streaked down the Kryptonian suit. The world watching gasped. Superman staggered, breathing hard, but his eyes never left his enemy. He'd been wounded before. He'd been outmatched before. And every time, he found a way. Rasker advanced slowly, savoring the sight. His claws hummed brighter, his armor adapting to every strike Superman had thrown so far. Rasker, snarling, "You are predictable, hero. Every punch, every beam. You fight to protect. That makes you weak." Superman wiped the blood from his mouth, his voice steady. "Superman, it makes me unstoppable." He launched upward, slamming Rasker into the side of a half-destroyed stadium. The impact shook the structure, dust exploding outward. Inside, thousands of terrified civilians huddled, trapped when the exits collapsed. Superman's heart lurched. He couldn't let the fight destroy them. Rasker sensed it too. He grinned wickedly, claws carving into the stadium walls. Energy surged, cracks spreading as the building threatened to collapse. "Rasker, save them or fight me. You cannot do both." Superman's eyes blazed, fury and focus colliding in his mind. He had seconds. He split into motion, moving faster than sound. Heat vision slicing open blocked exits, super speed carrying civilians out in flashes of red and blue. He shielded hundreds with his own body as debris rained down, taking the brunt of the collapse himself. When the dust cleared, the people were safe. Superman stood bloodied, shoulders heaving, but alive. And Rasker was laughing. Rasker, mocking, "You see? Every act of mercy costs you. You'll break long before I do. Superman staggered forward, defiance burning in his eyes. Superman, I'll never break. Not while even one life depends on me. The ground cracked as both unleashed their power at once. Superman's aura flared, golden red, shaking the streets. Razker's claws blazed white-hot, tearing through the air with arcs of pure plasma. Their collision detonated like a bomb, a shockwave rippling across the city, flattening everything within miles. Civilians cowered in fear, covering their ears as windows shattered. Heroes from across the globe, watching the live feeds, clenched their fists. Some whispered prayers. Others whispered the unthinkable. Civilian, voice trembling, what if Superman loses? As the dust cleared again, both figures stood in the crater they'd created. Superman's suit was torn, his body bruised, but his eyes still burned with resolve. Razker's armor flickered, absorbing every strike, adapting faster with each exchange. For the first time, Superman felt it, the sense that his enemy was not weakening, but evolving. This was no ordinary fight. This was survival against something built to destroy. Superman, thinking, jaw tight, I can't beat him by brute force. I have to outthink him. Find a flaw. No one's invincible. Razker's claws extended again, glowing like suns ready to burn the world. Razker, roaring, kneel, Kryptonian, or watch your world die screaming. Superman lifted his chin, his cape snapping in the burning wind. Superman, then you'll have to kill me first. Their eyes locked. The crater shook. The longest battle pressed into its deadliest round. The skyline shatters. The crater still smoked when Razker charged again. His claws carved arcs of fire through the air, each strike louder, heavier, faster than the last. Superman met him head-on, fists like thunder, but every impact only fed the alien's adaptive armor. Sparks and flames rained down, the city trembling with every clash. Above them, the skyline groaned. Towers, already weakened, leaned like giants about to fall. Civilians screamed from rooftops, waving desperately for rescue. Superman's eyes flicked up. Too many lives, too many risks. Razker saw it too. He grinned wickedly. Razker, so many fragile pieces. You can't save them all. He teleported to the tallest tower, claws glowing white-hot, and slashed its foundation in a single stroke. The skyscraper tilted, its steel frame shrieking as it began to collapse toward the crowded streets below. Superman's heart dropped. Without hesitation, he launched upward, catching the falling mass with both hands. The building groaned against his shoulders, thousands of tons of steel pressing down. His muscles burned as he pushed upward, stopping the collapse by sheer willpower. But Razker was already there, teleporting onto the tower's side like a shadow. He slashed at Superman's ribs. The Kryptonian winced, blood streaking down his side, but he didn't let go. He couldn't, not with civilians still inside. Superman, through clenched teeth, not one life. The crowd below roared in awe as Superman lifted the building back into place, bracing it against another tower. Civilians poured out in streams of relief. But the victory lasted seconds. Razker appeared behind him again, claws stabbing into his back. Superman cried out, hurling the alien across the skyline with a desperate burst of heat vision. The blast tore a path through 3 towers, sending them collapsing in showers of glass. The city became a battlefield of falling steel and fire. Superman streaked through the chaos, catching debris, redirecting destruction, even as blood dripped from his wounds. Every save cost him precious seconds. Every hesitation gave Razker another opening, and Razker was relentless. He teleported through the chaos like a phantom, striking from every angle, laughing as Superman scrambled to shield the innocent. His claws tore through bridges, through trains, through steel walls. He wanted Superman tired. He wanted him broken. Razker, taunting, you're not fighting me. You're fighting your own compassion. And it is killing you. Superman's chest heaved, his aura flickering like a dying star. Yet his voice carried steady through the smoke. Superman, compassion doesn't kill me. It gives me reason to stand back up. With a roar, he slammed into Razker mid-teleport, grabbing him by the throat and driving him upward into the storming sky. They crashed through clouds, lightning bursting around them, their silhouettes flashing like gods warring in heaven. But Razker adapted again. His claws flared brighter, tearing free, slicing across Superman's jaw. The Kryptonian reeled, vision blurring. The alien hovered above him, glowing claws spread wide, voice booming over the storm. Razker, look at you. Torn, bleeding, desperate. Tell them, Superman. Tell your people their hope is a lie. Superman wiped the blood from his face. His cape, shredded, still whipped behind him like a banner. His eyes burned with fire. Superman, low, defiant. Hope is the only thing you'll never take. And with that, he shot forward like a missile, punching Razker through the storm clouds. Lightning cracked, thunder roared, and the skyline below shook with the force of their collision. The world watched, breathless. The battle wasn't just for Earth anymore. It was for the very meaning of hope. Earth trembles. The storm cracked open as Superman and Razker tore through the sky. Their collision a thunderclap that sent shockwaves rolling across the continent. Skyscrapers swayed, rivers erupted in tidal waves, and even mountains quivered under the force of their battle. Down below, millions watched through screens, their hearts pounding. Every strike lit up the horizon like a second sun. Every roar shook the ground like an earthquake. Superman smashed Razker into the earth with a punch that split highways apart. The alien warrior rose from the crater, grinning, his claws glowing hotter than ever. His armor shimmered, now reflecting Superman's very movements, copying them, adapting like a mirror. Razker, laughing, you see, you make me stronger with every breath. Your power is a gift to me. Superman's chest heaved. His cape was nearly gone, his suit shredded, blood streaking down his arms. But his eyes burned brighter than fire. Superman, then you've already lost. Because my strength isn't mine alone. It's theirs. He pointed toward the civilians standing firm in the ruins, refusing to run. Families held each other, refusing to bow to terror. Humanity wasn't breaking. They were enduring. Razker snarled and lunged, claws slashing. Superman caught the alien's wrists, the ground shattering beneath their locked struggle. For a moment, it was raw force against raw force, neither yielding. Then Razker teleported, reappearing behind him, claws aimed for Superman's heart. But Superman spun at super speed, catching the claws an inch from his chest. Sparks exploded, the clash lighting the ruins like a volcanic eruption. Superman, through gritted teeth, you'll never take this world. With a roar, he lifted Razker high into the air, breaking through layers of cloud. Lightning raged around them, framing their silhouettes in the heavens. The alien warrior slashed, cutting across Superman's side, but the Kryptonian held on, driving him upward into the stratosphere. From Earth, people could see them, two streaks of light burning across the night sky. Superman hurled Razker back down. The alien slammed into the earth like a meteor, the impact carving a crater miles wide. Dust, fire, and debris erupted skyward, blotting out the stars. For a moment, silence. Then, from the crater's heart, Razker's laughter rose again, low, guttural, unstoppable. He climbed from the pit, armor glowing brighter than ever, feeding off the battle itself. Razker, roaring, "This planet will break before I do." Superman floated above the destruction, chest rising and falling, eyes blazing. He knew the truth now. This wasn't just a fight of fists. It was endurance. It was willpower, and he would not lose. Superman, steady, unshaken, then we fight until the end. The ground trembled. The sky burned. The longest battle was far from over.